In a slowly decaying futuristic city, social class is determined by the amount of time you spend in a virtual world called the interface. Hey guys, my name is Emmanuel Filteau, and this is Tales from the Interface Live, a weekly show in which I share my drawing screen with you and answer any question you might have about the comic making process. My comic is called Tales from the Interface, and I've been publishing it by myself since 2000. The first issue came out in 2017, but I've been working on it a lot longer than that, probably from the beginning of early 2000s. And three books are out now, and you can get them at tfti.inkorporate.com. You can get them. tfti.inkorporate.com is my website, and you can, if you go there, you just click shop, and you can see the crazy package. So for $30 US dollars, you can get all 3 copies of my book. Shipped to you by my loving hands. All copies of number 3 are signed already, and if you'd like to have a sketch, I can sketch something inside for you for $15. If you're living in the Montreal region, I also left some copies in Planet BD, Librairie Planet BD on Saint-Denis, and also in Boîte à BD de Laval. It's a work of love and sweat and all of that. Hey Damien. Mauvais Damien. On a déjà un spam bot. So spam bots are early today. It's been a real plague these days. Anyway, so yeah, so without further ado, what happened this week? Well, this week I got nominated for a sequential comic award, and I've been nominated for best comic book. There is a lot of cool comic books there. If you read any of them, I know I did. Like for sure, Mother Trucker was a great one. I didn't read all of them, but those are some great comic books, and you should check them out if you haven't. But if you would like to vote for my website for my comic, I'll just paste the link here in the chat. Okay, and it should pop up everywhere, I think. Otherwise, maybe not. Okay, I'll just paste it. Some other might appear a few times, but I'm just make sure everybody has the link. Okay, it did pop up in Facebook, and I see it on with the read stream bot, so it looks okay. All right, now it's twice. All right, so today I started working on color blocking. So what is color blocking? Color blocking is the process in which you lay out the basic colors of a comic. So basically, you're trying to get a feel of how the colors will work together. In this step, I also try to correct some mistakes, anything I see, which I do every time I go through the pages. But yeah, that's pretty much a step. This step. So I'll just share my drawing screen now. Oh, I just forgot to open it. And incidentally, I reached a big fight scene of the book yesterday. So that's what I kind of been coloring. Blocking is not too time consuming, so it's good for that, because you can go through the book and kind of get a feel of all the colors work together. So I've kind of been working on this page. This says this is the interface world, so there's a real world and then there's an interface world, and my two characters, Clara and Gauthier, are kind of going between these all these different virtual worlds. So I'm trying to give a different kind of feel to all of them. So that's kind of what I've been doing with the colors here, and you know, I'll probably add some filters or some stuff on top just to give it an extra kind of feeling to it. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing today. Just blocking colors, which is just basically using a few tools. I only use one or two to kind of go through the page and fill all the little colors. So it's like painting by number a little bit. Basically, you're just kind of trying to you know, determine a basic color scheme and see if it works. And if it doesn't, it's kind of easy to go back and switch things around. I'm hoping it works from early on, but you see this character, I think I tried three different colors for him, and I landed with this one, which I thought was a nice kind of color thing going on here. I was thinking of switching to the next page after that and changing some of the colors I originally put in for the next page, so that the two kind of enemies here, they contrast well. This is something I kind of like to do, to give some dynamic, like use color contrast for enemies. So basically at the step it's really just kind of filling up the little thing. And what I've been saying in previous lives is that I've kind of been trying to change my workflow and try to put less detail before color blocking, so that I don't get so many little places to fill. So I think this is something, you know, I'll do more in the future. Try to simplify my my layouts before you know, and then do color blocking and then add up an additional layer of details. So just to try and save a little bit of time. So this is not something you could do in a traditional like step, you know, when you have like 5 different people working on a book. Well, I guess you could, and then, you know, just do a step and then get it back and continue. But traditionally, you know, when you're done with your step, you just pass it to the next, and that's kind of it. But like this, I can just go around, do a first step of blocking colors, and then come back to another step of adding some line details, and then I can do a final adjustment with gradients and such, because gradients don't select too well. It's easier to select blocked colors. That's why we kind of do it at first. And when this is done, I will go in and add gradients on top of it. Typically, I try to save my blocked color layer at the bottom, so that I can still easily select my zone that I want to apply like a gradient on or something like that. Otherwise, it's been quiet weeks around here, just a daily routine, nothing much to say. I'm happy to see the you know, the colors coming around. As you can see on the right, I've already done like 10 pages, so I think it's starting to look good. And I think I'm well in line to finish half of the book for the spring. So basically a year of work for this chapter of 24 page. So, but I think I've been gaining speed because I also did some cover work this year. So, and that took a few weeks. So even counting that, I was still on time. So this means I'm gaining speed, and hopefully not at the price of losing quality. I don't think so. But I give myself until spring to kind of work on this, and so that I can have something this spring after that to bring to shows. And by the way, I did send my application for TCAF and the Montreal Comic Art Festival, so the Toronto and Montreal Comic Art Festival, and I'm looking forward to be there this summer. Typically I never had trouble to get into the Montreal one, but Toronto one is more troublesome. They don't have a lot of space, and they are kind of very selective of who they allow, and they do some reasonable stuff, like not allowing somebody who's been there the year before to come again the next year, which is decent of them to do. I wonder how that works, though. I mean, it must be only for small publishers. I can't believe they would not allow Fantagraphics to have a stand for 1 year because they were there the year before. I'm pretty sure, like, some of those big guys, they always get their stand, which is kind of makes sense because they always have new books that will come out every year. So if you think about if the goal is to give artists more vision, then yeah, those guys, they do publish multiple artists. So anyway, I'd love to have a chance to be there because I heard it's quite nice. Big crowds, and it seems like it's a nice event. I'm not sure how much I should bring even, because looking at my stock, I might need to print more of my number ones in English because I've kind of been running out. And I doubt that I need to bring any French. I could bring a few, but I'm doubtful that it would sell much. But I would probably need to bring more copies. So basically, to do color blocking, I used two tools. I used the paint bucket and the lasso fill, and those are quite powerful, and they pretty much answer to 90% of my needs. Okay, so just quickly I will add up some bit of line work, and in some cases you see having more line work is also good, but when you need to find a balance where it's worth it because you don't want to slow down your color blocking, but at the same time you want to be able to do as much as possible. So I don't know. I think it's more like when there's a very textured thing, like a textured skin or something, you probably want to leave those detail after color blocking. Anyway, that's kind of what I've been thinking. Okay, so if you'd like to see how these pages were made, I pretty much streamed the whole thing, and those videos are available on the YouTube page. So feel free to check it out. You see what I've been meaning here. If I didn't put those lines in, I would have filled the whole thing in one shot. Now I just have to go through each of them, and you see that there's a little blue spot there, which means I'm not even doing the whole thing. I'll need to go back and clean that up. So this is one instance where having less detail would be good, and then you can, after the next step, you can add those details in. So it's kind of a discovery that I'm happy about, and I'll be putting it into action in my next chapter mostly. And you know, if I can find ways to speed up the process, it's always good. Hey, thanks Nick for the like. Nick Live from Live, the Necropolis. Very cool webcomic. You should check it out. Nick is always very supportive, so I do appreciate you, man. Thank you. I don't necessarily enjoy the process of color blocking, but I think it's a really important step in comic making. So much so that I wouldn't really want to give it to anyone, because I do like to have that control of choosing those main colors here. I think I wouldn't necessarily be happy with how somebody else handles it. Not that they couldn't do it well, they might have do a better job. But I think I might be frustrated with some of the choices. But, you know, who knows? A good trick to find those little missing spots is to lower the opacity, and you can see where maybe some place might have some little specks that are missing. Fill lasso is a really good tool to use. I really enjoy using it. It's very powerful just by the simple fact that it fills after you're done selecting. Just removing that step is a huge time saver. In Photoshop, you'd have to create your own. You have to press another keyboard shortcut just to do that fill. So if you can avoid it, it just makes things a lot more pleasant. To this one and see that I missed a lot of those specs as well. When it's under the line, of course it wouldn't show, but you just need to be careful about those corners. Sometimes they might have some problem. So playing with the close gap feature is something I do a lot. And I kind of try to keep it into a reasonable balance, but it is something that kind of needs to be switched, and it's not fun to switch it. There might be a keyboard shortcut for it, though. I could look at it. See, I mix the layers. Sometimes I do that. I would want on this layer to only have this cloud so that I can put an effect on it. So a good way to fix that is use the color range. Here it's called color gamut. In Photoshop it's called color range. So that allows you to select the color and then just cut it out and paste it separately. And then I can, if I hide the ink, see that I've just selected all of it, so I can merge these two now. Kind of cool with all the ink, huh? Next step, those heavy detailed pages are quite long to block. I think the panel on top here will be a lot easier. But there's just a lot of stuff to go and select, and it's not necessarily the most appealing work to look at, but it is part of the process, and it doesn't last that long. After this is done, you know, it would be gradients and detailing, which is I think a bit more fun because it really kind of makes the whole thing pop. But my favorite stage is probably the inking stage, because that's where you really see a difference. Hey, salut Simon, comment ça va? Travaille sur le color blocking tonight. Ça va quand même assez vite le color blocking. Je suis déjà rendu à page 10. Là. Ah ouais, ça va, écoute, le train-train là. Je suis content d'avoir commencé le blocking. Là. Mais des petits détails là, c'est vraiment tuant là, pour sélectionner les couleurs. Là. Ça, je suis en train de me dire que je devrais mettre moins de détails, puis après ça en ajouter dans les zones qui vont être la même couleur de toute façon. Si tu me suis là. Tu sais, faire une première passe de blocking, puis après ça finir l'ancrage. Bon, ça c'est bon. En fond, là, ce que je me dis, c'est que je vais travailler sur l'autre personnage pour qu'il soit bien contrasté un avec l'autre. Je flatte pas mal tous les détails, pas tous les détails au début, ouais, c'est ça, hein, c'est ça, je pense que c'est mieux, là. Parce que sinon, tu files, puis là, t'es tout le temps bloqué avec un million de petites affaires. Fait que tu peux comme remplir les grandes zones, puis après ça repasser à une passe d'ancrage pour les détails. Bon. Bon, comment je vais colorer là? C'est sûr que pour contraster mon violet, je vais aller dans le jaune, les tons de terre. Donc l'armure d'une couleur, l'intérieur, on va me trouver un contraste, peut-être rouge. Ouais, pas pire, pas pire. C'est ça que, tu sais, l'exemple, c'est comme tous les petits points ici, tu sais, j'aurais pu les faire après, tu sais. Comme ça, j'aurais pas besoin de repasser puis tous les recolorer. Là. When do you think it's gonna be? When are you planning to launch your book? Oh, so you're coming out, it's coming out this month. Wow, that's great. Well, I hope it goes well. And for my case, for my part, I'm planning to finish that 24 page for this spring. It's looking good. I'm pretty sure I can get that done by then. Ah ouais, cool. Puis c'est toi qui l'as fait entièrement, là? C'est toi qui l'as monté? Ah, thanks. I'm trying to improve. Nice of you to notice. I don't know if you noticed, but I got a nomination for a comic award, like a best comic book. It's a Sequential Live Magazine Award. I don't know if you submitted, but it's fun. If you have time, you can. There's a link to vote. It's like a voting, popular voting thing. So you know, it's difficult to win those things, but it's fun to be part of the nominations. Yeah, I need to improve my video. Like when I do a launch, it's I don't spend enough time making that video. I'm just very tight on my schedule to get the book out, but I guess it's really important to make that video good enough. It's nice to see people are interested in what I do, for sure. So I do like those colors. I think they work well what I'm trying to do. Hey Joey, comment ça va? Hey, merci d'avoir partagé les liens là, de vote. pour le sequential art, là. C'est cool. C'est sûr qu'avec quelqu'un comme Andy Bélanger qui est dans la course, c'était comme un peu... moi, je sais pas à quel point j'ai des chances, là, mais c'est pas grave. Là. Je suis quand même content de faire partie des nominés. Là. Ah oui, puis j'ai vu que vous avez allé avoir euh, Jake Dion. C'est vraiment cool. C'est demain, ça. Je vais vraiment essayer de faire un tour, là. J'espère que j'aurai pas d'empêchement, là, mais... Je pense qu'il y a beaucoup... Tu sais, c'était un peu aux artistes à se nominer, là, tu sais. D'envoyer leur dossier, puis là, c'était Brandon qui choisissait les meilleurs dossiers qu'il avait reçus, là. Ou sinon, tu peux nominer du monde. Euh, Bon. He looks menacing enough. Okay, so the sky, I want to change that to see how it's gonna be. Non, ça marche pas ça. Ah, je suis mauvais. So, here and then, because it's white under, right? Try to fix. So I think this lilac contrasting with the orange is working quite well as a device for contrast. So color blocking is really kind of trying stuff out. Doesn't mean that I will keep it like that, but for now, this is kind of what I'm going for. Non, c'est quoi une chose, c'est pas montréalais. C'est j'ai rencontré Brandon au FBDM il y a quelques années, je pense au dernier. Là. Mais il me semble qu'il est basé à Toronto. Là. Puis il y a du monde, tu sais, les nominés sont comme partout au Canada. Là. Il y a du monde, il y a du monde de Vancouver, d'Alberta. Je sais pas sur quoi il se basait là. C'est quoi, c'est quoi les critères là, pour choisir là. Mais... Big green. Mais Sequential Art, c'était aussi. Je sais pas exactement comment ils se séparent l'affaire, là, mais il y a Saul Good Sam qui est impliqué là-dedans, dans le site internet en tout cas, là, qui lui est à Montréal. Si tu l'as jamais rencontré, il est souvent dans le. Il vient pas mal tout le temps au FBDM, là. Je pense pas sûr qu'il a été au Comic Con aussi, là. Tu sais, je veux dire, c'était quand même un artiste assez connu, là. Il travaillait pour les gros. Puis je sais qu'il donne des classes à Montréal, là. Il donne des cours. Ouais, je sais que Sargassam était pas mal impliqué dans Sequential, le site. Mais je sais pas trop comment ils sont connectés ensemble. Parce qu'ils utilisent comme le même logo puis d'autres choses. Mais il fait un magazine comme. Je suis pas sûr de la publication. Ouais. Ah, ok. Ouais, c'est cool. Là. Je- ça prend beaucoup de volonté pour produire quelque chose comme ça, là, c'est sûr. Là. J'ai du respect pour ça. Là. Donc c'est ça, c'est un peu essayer de trouver la balance des couleurs. Là. C'est l'un des moments où j'aurais probablement pu mettre moins de détails avant de faire mon blocking. Mais en même temps, ça donne une structure aux choses. Hein. Peut-être pas. Une grande zone de même, c'est parfait pour faire un lasso fil. Where's the... Marco really, I don't think I'm familiar with his work. Is he Canadian? But you guys are certainly on a roll. I mean, you're meeting a lot of cool guys. I'm pretty impressed you'd want to speak with me. Okay, so this is sometimes it looks weird, but you know, you kind of have to picture how it's gonna look with the effects on it, and it's kind of hard to tell until you try. Ah, okay. Wow. That's impressive. That's an impressive resume. You should try to contact Yannick. I don't know if he'd be willing, but he's always fun to hear. Certainly, Yannick is certainly one of the most well-known artists around, well, who's worked on American projects. Blue cactus. Almost feels like the set of an old Star Trek episode. Let's put antennas on that tiny dog. He's gonna be alien enough. Okay, cool. You know, so many very, pretty big artists are doing their own thing now. It's impressive. But it's not, you know, I know there was this big thing with the Berserk comic. Like at one point, I think the first Kickstarter I ever backed was the Tangrel one. It was on Indiegogo at the time, I think. That was a while back. But you know, if it might bring people to the platform as well, if we're trying to see the good of it. Cover work is fun. I did 2 this year, and I've really enjoyed them. Je sais pas si j'ai déjà... J'ai pas vraiment parlé à Jack. Il était... J'étais dans une soirée avec lui un moment donné, mais on s'est pas vraiment parlé. Non? Je sais pas s'il sait ce que je fais, là. Ejector, he has wings in his cell right now. He's doing a lot of cool things. He's trying to break into the American market as well. I saw a few things passing around. So, je suis content pour lui, hein, c'est cool. Ouais, tu sais, j'ai eu. J'ai comme pas eu l'occasion d'y parler, mais j'aurais bien aimé, là. Tu sais, dans le fond, quand on est au FBDM, là, moi, je suis comme. Je suis collé à ma table, là. Je veux profiter de chaque minute de ma table, là. J'ai pas tant l'occasion de vendre mes affaires, tu sais, fait que. Hey, merci Sachiko for thanks Sachiko for the like. Ouais, Alice. Ouais, c'est cool. J'ai bien aimé ça. Euh, c'est un nice take là. Je sais pas si t'avais déjà essayé ça dans le temps. Il y avait eu un jeu qui avait sorti là. C'était comme un peu ça là. C'était comme une Alice corrompue là. C'était pas mal cool. Mais ça, c'est quand même plus rough que le jeu là. Mais c'est intéressant là. C'est un bon take là. Mais c'était un roman aussi, je crois, avant. Je peux me tromper, hein. Ah ouais, ok. Ça va l'air cool, le minicon, là. Mais là, je me suis booké. J'ai envoyé mon inscription pour le BDM de cet été. Puis aussi, j'ai envoyé une demande pour être au TFCon, là. On va voir ce que ça donne, là. Ouais, c'est ça. Fait que la BD, elle m'avait un petit peu rappelé le jeu, là. C'est pas exactement la même chose, là, mais. Ouais. C'est ça, je sais que, tu sais, je reçois tout le temps. des invitations à certains événements, puis c'est toujours un peu, ben là, c'est cool, là, mais si ça me coûte plus cher d'aller là que ce que je vais faire, c'est pas super, là. Ouais, ça m'est déjà arrivé d'aller à des événements, puis c'était comme. Ça a tellement pas valu la peine, là. Tu sais, c'était comme. Il était pas du tout intéressé à n'importe quoi d'indépendant, là. Ce qui était intéressé, c'est ça, là. C'est les big names, là. Puis, je sais qu'un événement là, ce que j'avais vendu, c'était comme une commission de Batman, là. Fait que c'était comme vraiment déprimant, là. Puis, tu sais, je suis pas vraiment un gars de super-héros, là. Fait que j'étais même pas content du dessin que j'avais fait, là. Yeah. I was talking to somebody about that, and it's like I think when people go to an event like the mini Comic Con, for instance, like, and there's a table with some stuff they have no idea what it is, and like a superhero they've been following forever, it's kind of natural for your eye to go towards the things you know. I mean, events like BDM, it's kind of easier, I think, to sell stuff because people are more open to new things. I think the crowd in Comic Con are not very open-minded for new stuff. They kind of they're here for their nostalgia or for other things in comic because it's a lot. It's much about as much for comic as it is for wrestlers and TV shows. So yeah, so it's not like they're terribly, trying to find new things. I heard that TCAF is good for that too. It's like a FBDM where people are more open to try stuff. So I agree with you. Like you see a lot of garbage coming from the big two. It's boring as hell. And you know what pisses me off is it's with movies too. You get these amazing artists to work on your project, but you give them crap to work with. Like the stories are dreadful, and then but they're great artists, and they get to work on that crap, which is so frustrating to waste their talents like that. And I mean they have to make their bread, right? But it's still it sucks that they have to do that. Yeah, well, you know, at least you guys are trying with your show to kind of show the indie scene a little bit. It's you know, there's a lot of in feeding, like we support each other a lot, but it's kind of hard to bring people outside of you know, that group into it. Yeah, trying new things is not, it's not easy. I was surprised how many people I didn't know that backed my book on Kickstarter. Frankly, was very happy about it, but I think it's the single most I ever was able to reach, you know, people I had never had contact with, which was pretty jaw-dropping to me. Canker book. Oh, is that the one, the big combined edition that I saw you posting with the purple head? Yeah, thanks, Simone. Though, yeah, it's true. You do. You do. But you know what? Yeah, I try to back a lot too, but there's so many out there. Uh, I don't back as many as I probably should, but I mean, there's a limit to what I can do. I was happy though. I dropped some book at Librairie Planète BD, and I sold a decent amount of copies, and then I had to bring more. So that was nice. I haven't had too much success in stores before, but I was pretty happy to see it. You know, I just went there and I had some copies with me, and I asked the owner if he'd take some on commission, and he's not the owner. I don't think he's the owner. Anyway, and yeah, so they accepted to have some, and then they sold them out, and I had to go back, and was felt pretty good about it. Add one the other for a video sandbox fighting game. Alright. I don't know what that is. Okay. Sounds pretty cool. I tried to build an RPG with my characters once with a program that was called RPG Maker 2000, some stupid name. But it was pretty easy to do, and just it wasn't the difficulty, it was just the time to build all of it. But that program was pretty powerful. You could really build like a kind of a Super Nintendo Final Fantasy kind of RPG. And I built it like a little town, and it was fun. Matthew Ellison. I'll have to look into it. Must not be cheap though. It seems like it's a big hardcover book. Il y avait un gars qui faisait des genres de combats comme ça durant le Festival de BD de Québec. Là. Il avait pris comme des H.O.T puis d'autres persos, puis il faisait se battre. Là. 35 US? Oh. Well, you know, it's what I think I saw, it's over 200 pages wide. Yeah, so it's not unreasonable for what it is. Art covers are not cheap. But then again, shipping to Canada must must not be cheap. But you see, like if you get a 30 something, 35 or 200 pages book, it's actually a pretty decent price. You know, if you go to a library, I mean, this kind of book won't cost under 50 Canadian. I mean, so it matches just the shipping. Fucking yeah, that's it. I mean, he probably had to cut into his profit even to get there. I don't know how many copies he's making, but man, I wish we'd had some help with shipping. It's like the big companies like Amazon, you know, they get people used to pay nothing for shipping. So, you know, when you ask for $10 to ship a book, they're like, what? I don't want to pay that. I don't pay anything on Amazon. Yep. Okay, a digital French. Well, that's cool. I thought about doing that, like not having the physical French, but I think I sell as many in French as in English, so it's like Joe asked me on the show which one was selling more. It's pretty much the same, and at this point, I wouldn't go for one or the other. I'd still have two more books, so for sure, for Tales from the Interface, I won't like not finish both language. That would be really sucky for people who want to complete their series. But for my next book, I don't know if I'm gonna have both language. It's so hard. Yeah, so you ship to US, and yeah, that makes sense. Um, I mean, in Canada, you can do like the letter thing, which costs a lot less. It's like $6 for shipping for like a normal book. But as soon as it hits the packet, you're going for like over $10. But I'm thinking like when I have like my fourth book and four of them together, it's probably gonna be I don't know, $15 shipping. But then you get four books, and if I can lower the price on the whole, so that kind of amortir le coût là. Je pense que ça pourrait être pas trop pire là. 50,000, man. Oh my god. I never dream of making that much. Maybe blue like the cactus. Like the weapons are blue. But once I kind of calculated that if I wanted to actually make a decent living with the comic, I would have to make at least that amount of money from each book. Yeah. I guess that's a way to create demand. I don't really like it though. I like my book to be available to anyone who wants it. Okay, so this is my sky, and just want to make it slightly different here. Yeah, something like that. And then a little bit darker. And now, not make a mistake on where I put the colors. Oh boy, it is quite complex. Ugh. Quoi? Que le livre a une page. J'ai toutes les longs slots, mais j'ai pas. C'est un nouveau qui est sorti, hein. Je pense quelqu'un d'autre qui fait ça, là. Ah, j'ai pas. C'est pas Philippe. C'est ça, c'est pas Philippe Drouillet qui le fait, hein. Mais une page, pas d'allure. Oh, $8 shipping for a floppy, yeah. Oh. It's yeah. Single issues are a hard sell. You can't really like make the price like absorb some of the cost of shipping because the price of the floppy itself is so cheap. It's difficult to sell floppies on. I wish there was a better way to do it, like to ship those things. That's why I think big part of my sell were for multiple issues because the shipping was so much better. It's such a better deal when you grab multiple copies. Like when I bagged the new Mother Trucker, the way he made it, it was like it cost almost the same thing as getting one issue than two. So I just got another issue, number one. I'm gonna give it to somebody. Yeah, well, 80 page, it's starting to be, you know, it's kind of starting to be a good number. Like, my book is like 48 pages of comics, so, you know, it's a little bit more with all the extras and stuff. That's something to consider for my next when I do a new book, like outside of this project, trying to make try to make something a bit bigger, maybe in itself. I kind of have a skeleton of a story now, and going through thinking about how I'm gonna do it, but I think trying to aim for a 200 page would be a good number, and that means I need to spend 4 years making it before I can promote it. Number of page, yeah. Me too, actually. I mean, how much am I getting? Yeah. I need to put that front and I think I did like when my campaign, I kind of put the amount of page pretty high on the page. Like all the specs, like the color, the bleed, and all that stuff, because this is pretty much what I'm interested in seeing first. Like, what is the value for my money? I think I made a mistake here. I should have put this guy in a separate layer. The colors here. I'm gonna fix that because I want some more depth for the front here. Select event. Yeah, yeah, you need to say that for sure. And yeah. I have some sample pages, but usually by the time I get the book out, probably like almost half of it would have been published on the website. But I wonder if I still need to do that, honestly, because not too many people go there, and it's nice to have a web store. I don't feel like that many people go read a webcomic. I could be surprised, but I'm not planning to, next turn around. I'm planning to try to do a direct Kickstarter now that some people are following me there. See, the book was 48 page for 35 US, only 28 page of story. That freaking sucks. It does. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So I might not be asking enough for my book, because I think it's I asked for like $15. I think that's and then I added a little bit more so that I could include shipping in it. So I probably could increase my price in the next campaign. Okay, 25 for 48 pages. Okay, yeah. Closer to what I'm asking for. But I might not be asking enough. I mean, I would like to make more money out of the amount of work I did on it. But I do want to sell a okay amount of books as well. Okay, so it's 48 pages in total, and then 28 pages of comic inside. Okay, no, I have, in my case, it's 48 pages of comic inside, plus filler pages. So in the end, you end up with probably like 54 pages, something like that, 56. Some bio stuff, and some little what will be next, and some context. First book I did, I added a like some not tutorial, but like look behind the scene, and then some people complained that it was just filler, and they felt cheated, so I didn't put it in the next books. I thought that I'm putting so much effort into that content and people don't appreciate it, and why do I do it? $35 for a floppy, yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. So yeah, when shipping's costing you the same as the thing, and there's a problem. And these guys are complicated to color. Hey. Yes, Mo, you actually you had him do a commission of your character, huh? At one point. I did an ink wash on him, okay. Nice. So we kind of gave you the rights to print as much as you want, as well as including his price for the commission. I think it's nice of him to do that. He was a bit hard to approach though when I saw him at the Comic Con, and he looked pretty uninterested in talking to me. I don't know. Didn't seem terribly approachable. He might have been tired. I don't know. Maybe. Should have offered him a beer or something. Oh boy, I have to be manly. Oh, I think I got over impressed by his big muscles. But yeah, I have something really cool that he did in my collection. It's yeah, here. If I can get it without things falling around. Very cool. It's I'll show my screen. Yeah, the Judge Dredd versus Batman by Bisley. So very cool stuff. I think Judge Dredd is inside this too. Some nice thing. I had to read that again. But he did all the art inside. And look at that Judge Dredd. A very cool Batman as well. Look at the muscle on the Judge Dredd. Nice stuff. Yes, Lane. Yes, I need to get some of that. It's in my cart, but I haven't pushed the button yet. I do like those 2080 titles. Is it the writers? Is it Pat Mills? I think. Well, it's one of those Judge Red Riders who did it, I'm sure. The Bible illustrated that I would like to get one day is the Robert Crumb one. I saw it in a used bookshop the other day, and I was very tempted to get it. I think with the extra effects, it will be nice. I think my contrast is working well here. So this nice little trick here is that I can probably paint from the bottom. So I can create a new layer here and kind of select the whole thing here and paint like that. Aha. But then I want, I guess it doesn't matter, but if I wanted to put this in front of my sky, I could just select the colors and then put it back in front. But I probably will do that actually. So just select the color range. I'd select this, but I can probably say I just want this layer. We're from multiple, that's it. So this will affect. Hey Joy, yeah, I'm gonna finish this as well. Yeah. So thank you guys for being here, and I wasn't even sharing my screen anymore. Anyway, so yeah, so I think good progress tonight, and thank you Joy for being here. Thank you Simon for being here. You guys are awesome. Thanks for engaging in the chat. It's always appreciated. If you haven't voted for my comic on the sequential art comic contest, please, I would appreciate it. And as always, my books are available on tfti.incorporate.com, and it's the link is at the bottom or in the description of this video. So with that being said, I hope you have a great week, and I'll be back next Thursday at 9 for all you guys. So have a great week. Hey Rudy, have a good one. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Have a good week. And yeah, so we'll be seeing each other soon, I guess. I'll be back again next week, 9 p.m. So have a great week, and I'll see you around the interface.